Do you want to never know peace and question the morality of whoever it is that you're rooting for? Because I just finished The Rage of Dragons, and that's how I feel. The Rage of Dragons starts and then it just never stops. This was a relentless read. I don't think I got a single moment of peace in this book, but it was incredibly different and new and fresh. And like, there's dragons, but not in the way you think. And I felt like he handled this material in such an interesting way that I haven't really seen much in fantasy. It's full of themes of subjugation and colonization and oppression and PTSD. It really is more about the post traumatic stress disorder experienced by the main character, Tao, when he just gets pummeled by tragedy after tragedy, and how a relentlessly unending string of tragedy can transform the way someone's mind works and sees the world. What I liked about Tao is that having all the classic hero traits wasn't enough. It was never enough. He always needed more. Even though he was more, it still was never enough. The goalpost just kept moving, and he was never able to claw himself out of this place that he was relegated into by the society he's a part of. And his hero, Tao, he's such an angry young man, and he's just living with this constant anger and this feeling of never enoughness. And like, I can't blame him, because there were so many moments that Winter made my blood boil along with Tao's, and I cheered and I yelled and I cursed. This book actually had me exclaim aloud several times. Hero character isn't really a hero. He doesn't really want it. His motivations are not heroic, but I thought that's what made him rich and interesting and different from most standard sword and sorcery classical dragon heroes. And there's way less dragons than you think there are going to be. Like, there's not no dragons, but the dragons are like kind of terrifying. They're a little scary, and they're not all what you expect from a dragon, which I thought was cool. It was an interesting take. This is a cautionary tale about what the world looks like when you have this iron grip on power that's so hard you forget who your real enemies are and you start fighting your own people. It's about infighting, making us weaker. It's about allowing a thirst for vengeance and violence override our sense and let us forget what we're supposed to be doing. It was a pretty fast read, surprisingly, mostly because like I was constantly flipping as fast as I could through each page because I was just so invested in the story. But this read really quickly to me, but was super rich, and the world is really detailed and interesting. And there's so many different moving parts that I'm actually really interested in how Winter wraps it up or what he does in the next couple of books. I would walk away giving this a very solid and respectable 4 stars. This was a fresh, interesting take on fantasy and dragon books that I did not expect. And this kind of caught me off guard, but I'm really glad I picked it up. I'm really glad that it was singing to me and that it was something that I wanted to read, because this was such a trip. I highly recommend adding this to your list if you have not. And then we can talk about how the dragons are not the dragons that you would expect, but possibly they are the dragons that we deserve.